Well, on the heels of the Supreme Court's ruling on gay marriage a couple of days ago, one Pennsylvania newspaper said it was going to limit op-eds that opposed the decision. Here was the ruling, quote, "The Penn Live and Patriot News will no longer accept, nor will it print, op-eds and letters to the editor in opposition to same-sex marriage." This isn't hard. We wouldn't print racist, sexist, or anti-Semitic letters. To that, we add homophobic ones. Pretty simple. Well, the paper has since revised its policy. But does the policy limit free speech? Is it an insult to readers? Here to explain is Penn Live and Patriot News opinion editor John Misek, who wrote the original policy. John, thanks for joining us this morning.
Tucker, good morning. Thanks for having me.
So you made it pretty clear. You have contempt for people who disagree with your views. You consider them bigots, and you don't think that they ought to be able to express those views because they're illegitimate. That was clear.
No, not at all. What we were trying to do, and perhaps we missed a little bit in the execution, was to try to create a space for civil discussion in the pages of Penn Live while allowing reasoned and intelligent debate on the issue. I fully recognize that people of goodwill and deeply held conviction are going to differ with the High Court on this decision. But our intent, I think, and we might have missed this initially, was really just to create a space for civil discussion.
Civil discussion? Really? What's civil about describing people who disagree with you as bigots, comparing them to anti-Semites and racists? That's the opposite of civil.
I think there actually might be a context problem there. I was trying to create a space between people of goodwill and, again, of intelligence who want to debate this issue, and those who might come at it with invective.
Well, then why not? Why wouldn't, hold on, you're a writer, you write for a living, you use language in your job. Why wouldn't you have just said that?
Actually, I did. The second half of what you're referring to was a tweet I had, on a discussion I had on Twitter later in the day on Friday. The first half of it was correct. That was the statement that originally ran on Penn Live. It's been moderated some since, and in fact, it's been moderated even further on our Sunday opinion page today.
It's pretty obvious from what you've written that you agreed with the decision, you were excited about it, you believed it was an advancement for civil rights, and that people who disagree are by definition illegitimate. And you said this is settled law. I wonder if you took that same position when the Supreme Court handed down its Heller decision on the Second Amendment, enshrining the Second Amendment as an individual right. Did you at that point say anybody who disagrees with the Heller decision can't appear on my pages?
I didn't have the job back then, so I can't speak to it.
I wonder, as you look at newspaper editorial pages and the declining readership of them, and it's declined pretty dramatically, people, when you ask them, why don't you read editorial pages, they say, well, because the people who run them are elitist, they don't have respect for me, they have contempt for me if they disagree. Haven't you given them evidence that that's true?
You know, I have a great many friends across the political spectrum who I talk to in the wake of writing this, whose opinions I respect. Again, there was an error in judgment, an error in phrasing in the way we initially phrased the policy. The policy of Penn Live, and I can say that right here for the record, we will accept any and all views on gay marriage and the High Court's decision. Again, we want to try to stay away from sort of invective, and we wouldn't have published that on Thursday any more than we would have published it on Friday. But, we are trying to create a space for discussion about this, recognizing that there will be disagreement.
With all respect, I thought your first statement was crystal clear. I thought it was the opposite of what you're saying now. I think it's really clear you have contempt for people who disagree and that you don't want to hear their voices. And so if you've sincerely changed your view in that, I congratulate you. But I thought it was very revealing. Unfortunately,
we'll have to agree to disagree with my views. Thank you.
Yeah, I find them abhorrent. John Misek, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.